Aileen, I'm going to come to you next for the marketing practice. If you wanted to just introduce yourself and tell us about your experience.
Hi, yes, so hi everyone. My name is Aileen Ruane and I did the marketing practice last year. So I had done the Bachelor of Commerce for my undergrad. And then I was specializing in marketing and knew I wanted to do a master's, knew I wasn't really ready for the workforce. So I started researching the different masters, and obviously the placement was what stuck out to me. And especially because it was paid placement, but as well, I had to make sure I liked the modules too, or otherwise I knew it wasn't going to work. But I did. The modules seemed really interesting. And went through the process with the personal statement and the different CV and all that Maura mentioned. But I found it was great because the college kind of did a lot of the hard work by setting the companies up. Arranging the companies that we would be going on placement with. So that took a lot of stress out of finding placement. I found it was a lovely transition from just studying to out to the workforce, because I didn't have any professional experience before the masters. I had summer jobs but never internships. So for me, it was great to get that experience, and as well, to go in at that level into those companies where the employers know that you have little to no experience, so they are willing to teach you as well. So that's great. And obviously the assignments you are doing, you can apply them to your company as well. So the employers also like that. But I found that the year flew. Adrian, I'm sure you remember it as well. It's full on. There is a lot going on, but it definitely flew. And you learn so much throughout the year. And I don't think I realized at the time how much I was learning until you look back. And obviously, you learn about each module. You learn about digital marketing and the digital marketing module and everything, but you learn so much more than that, and you learn how to apply what you're learning in the workforce. And I know that was mentioned earlier on as being a key skill. But as well, it's a very full-on year, so you don't have that much time to yourself, so you become better at managing your time, and you develop your presentation and communication skills. And we as well, another big thing for us was the talks that we got throughout the year from the variety of the past pupils, and the variety of jobs they had gone on to, and from all over the world, and the different paths they had gone down, and just seeing that that's what we could do and all the different futures that could lie ahead of us. It was really inspiring. And then as well, another big part of it was learning how to optimize our CV and LinkedIn and our personal profile, because I feel like a lot of us really benefited a lot there, because just my LinkedIn was pretty basic and so was my CV pretty basic, but Anne, who was the program director last year, she really focused a lot on networking and the importance of building out your personal profile. And then I feel like it teaches you to be flexible and responsible, because you are responsible for keeping on top of your lectures. Some of them are online, but as well, as I said, it's a very busy year, so you do have to be flexible to keep your full-time job going. But if assignment to just take a step back and really think out logically about everything you have to do, because sometimes we can overcomplicate it in our head, and I know this actually spelled out to us a few times throughout the year, but you can do it, and just write things down, because that also makes it much clearer. And then another thing for me was, you are going to prefer some modules to others, obviously, that's only natural, but there are bits that you can take from each module and bring it into the workforce. So for me, an example was in digital marketing. I hated SEO, search engine optimization. I just didn't like it at all. Did the assignment, that was fine, thought I'd never need to use it again. And now I'm trying to teach it to myself because I need it for work. So I'm actually going back to my notes. So I wish I paid a bit more attention for that part of the module. But even they're also, just keep in mind, you might think that you might like one module. Patricia, you're probably not going to like me for saying this, but when I went into it, I didn't Didn't think I'd like research, but that all changed with your modules. So, and I really like it now. So definitely keep an open mind, and don't be afraid to ask your lecturers for help, because they really are there to help. And definitely don't be worried about Zoom interviews either, because you can definitely play them to your advantage.
Aileen, thank you very much for that. That was an excellent description of the course. Patricia, I think you've created beasts in market researchers, people who might not have initially thought they would like it, and after having done your subject are absolutely in love with it, and who can really see the value add for what it can bring to the company that they're working with. Aileen, you mentioned there as well about how fast the year goes by, and I think every year flies by for everyone, and the years after fly by as well, unfortunately for us all. I think, part of the feedback that we often get is, a master's, it's obviously a very intensive year as well, because there's a high workload, particularly, when you're working full time, you're studying full time, and for the other courses where you have more contact hours. But that intensity sometimes within the class, you can build a lot of friendships and relationships. So even though I found for the marketing practice, we were only on campus for a couple of weeks during the year, within that time, we actually established really close friendships and relationships that we still have to this day. And I'm sure for the other, for Edwin and Dennis, the relationships you've made in your programs as well have continued since.
Definitely. And like going back to college for those weeks, it was a nice break from work, and you got to see your friends again and everything. And it was really nice to go back in, even though you were studying for the week, but it was still nice to go back.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely. Aileen, thank you so much for that.